All right, so here we are at the customer's house. This is a Red Sea Peninsula style tank. This is the newer model. And this, if you guys haven't watched my videos, this was the tank. The tank before this was a Peninsula style to the original Red Sea model. And it ended up having a separation in the seal and had a slight leak. So we had to tear that down. It was a whole thing. I have a video about the situation, but this is the new tank in place of the old one. So it's a bit of an upgrade. It's 10 gallons more than the previous aquarium that they had. But this is a recently set up tank. This is not something that's been up for a long time. And just wanted to kind of go through some of the progression where we're at and what we've been dealing with. We've already gone through the brown diatom phase, which is usually between the first 2 or 3 months of having an aquarium. And we've already hit the green hair algae phase. We're kind of at the tail end of it. It's still looming its head in the tank. There's some spots of hair algae, but for the most part, we've been pretty good about dealing with hair algae. No huge explosions. We've treated it, and hopefully we're in control of that now. But now I want to kind of take this tank to the next level. Now we have softies in here, which are doing great. So let's take a look at some of the soft corals that are in here. Well, actually, let's start with the anemone. So we can see this beautiful rock flower anemone right there doing great. There's one right there. We have several of these rock flower anemones in the tank. As far as soft corals go, we have some zoas that are big, bright, and opened up really well. Right there, we have a beautiful mushroom coral right there. Some more pallies, some more zoas down here on the bottom. That red mushroom, which is sprouting babies like crazy. Another rock flower anemone over there on the wall. But yeah, so you get the picture. There's a bunch of zoas here that are doing great. All different types of zoas, of mushrooms, everything softy is doing great. Look at these utter chaos. That started off, I believe, as 2 heads. It's already 4 heads. That's looking amazing. Now, if that one can just grow. Oh, actually, look at that. It does. It has a little baby popping off of the side. Wow. Didn't even notice that. That's pretty cool. So, okay, so then more rock flower anemones here. That's a really nice red one. So we've done that, right? We got the softy. So the next step is LPS. So how are the LPS doing? Let's go back over here and check it out. We have a Duncan coral that looks great. Want to make sure that's fed, but that's looking amazing. And we have Ganyapore, small little frag of that. That is kind of leveled out. I mean, the polyps are out. Ganyapore can be tricky. But the polyps are out. It's not growing. It's not doing as well as I like it to do. So that's a little, frustrating. We have an encrusting coral right here. I forget which coral that is. It's hard to tell because it is receding. It's not doing very well. I didn't have high hopes for that. Unfortunately, it's not working out. And then what do we have here? Oh, acans. So this acan is doing really well. Big, fluffy. That's what you want in an acan. Then we have a very small head of acans right here. Even though they're small, you can see the polyps. They're big, fluffy. I think if that gets fed enough, that will be grow in no time. We had one right here. That one does not look good. But when you have one that looks like this and you have something like that, sometimes it's just the coral. A coral got damaged somehow. And I'm not going to judge anything based on this one because the 2 other acans look great, and I want to get more acans in here. So that doesn't shy me away from putting more acans in this tank, especially when we have blastos over here. You have a blasto up there, and then a full colony of blastos right here. They're looking okay. No, I guess they're looking good as we get closer in. I guess they're big enough. They're, I guess swollen enough would be the word. They look okay. Color on them is fine. They're not receding. Oh, and then as I look closer, it looks like there's a little head that popped up on the side. Okay, so not terrible. So that's another LPS coral that's doing good. And then we get over to Euphilia corals. And then, so we got 2 torch corals, both of which look amazing. So they seem to be doing just fine. We have a hammer coral close here. That looks decent. This one, it makes me a little nervous. I don't know if that's going to die, but it looks like it's going to die. That splattered hammer right there, that small one right there, that one. It looks like it might not do well, but hopefully it comes back. Because this gold hammer right here is doing great. And then we have this one right here that seems to be stressing. A lot of times when you get these frags, they cut the frags and they cut them a little bit too small, or they damage them during cutting or fragging. And sometimes they'll do fine for a bit, but then they'll slowly die away. So I'm not going to give up on them yet. Polyps are still out. Just give them some time. Hopefully they'll come back. Now I have tried a chalice coral in here. Not doing good. It's starting to bleach and go away. So I don't think we're ready for encrusting LPS type of corals, chalices, things like that. I just don't think we're ready. And then, oh yeah, here's a frog spawn, blood red frog spawn right there, looking amazing. That's really big. And other than that, that's all we got going on here. We have a little blue sponge, but that's encrusting. That's doing okay. Nothing too exciting, but again, that kind of falls into an easier coral. And we have all this real estate, because what this real estate up here is going to be used for is, I want to focus this SPS heavy. All acros, all sticks. We are not there yet. If we cannot keep Ganyapora, if we cannot keep encrusting LPS corals, I am not going to start trying, acros, not yet. So if we look closely, we notice that there is tons of coralline algae growing. Now, as far as fish, we have a biota yellow tang that's aquaculture that's looking amazing. It's got a nice yellow color to it. It's growing like a weed. It's getting really big. We have some anthias in here scattered throughout. So 2 chromis, I think, I know there's more chromis. They're just kind of shy. We have a Cuban golden basslet that lives in this cave. Hopefully he comes out. I can show you guys that tank. But that is a beautiful, show you that fish. That is a beautiful fish. That is one of my all-timers right there. We have a striped blenny right there. Look at that guy. He's coming out, thinks he's gonna eat. Green spotted puffer. We have a bar goby hidden in between the rocks over there. And cleaner shrimp, a springery dotty back, which is through the rock back there. I think that's it. Oh, pintail fairy wrasse. I believe that's a female though. And what is this, a link goby? Yeah, link goby. Kind of cool little fish. And I think that's it. I think that's all the fish in here. Is there another shrimp in here? No, just a cleaner. Maybe, I think there's 2 cleaners in here. But yeah, the fish are all doing really, really well. They're eating really well. The bully of the tank is this wrasse, the pintail fairy wrasse. That's the bully. So if I'm going to add more fish, I have to be careful how I add the fish, because I added like 1 or 2 fish and he gets bullied. So I want to make sure when I add fish in the future that I'm adding a decent amount of fish at once. I think we're going to add 5 fish next round that we do. Let me know what kind of fish you guys think would work well for this tank. It's got some room. I want to keep it small. I want all smaller fish. I don't want anything too big. I don't want if I do a tang, it's going to be a bristletooth tang, a Tamini tang, or something that stays smaller. I don't want to do big fish, and I want reef safe fish. But I want to keep them all smaller fish. I don't want anything that's going to get too large for this tank. And the customer wants the same thing. They don't want anything too big. And other than that, there's a Cuban basslet. There it is right there. Oh, what a beautiful fish. Can't tell me that's not a gorgeous fish. Oh my God, I love it. All right, yeah, and that's it. That's it for the fish. But yeah, that's how the tank is progressing. That's how it's coming along. I love this aquarium. It is currently on Kalkwasser, and I'm about to feed some reef nutrition to this tank. I'm about to feed some Red Sea, the A and B plus stuff for the corals here in a second. But, I think for not even being a year old, this tank is coming along nicely. We got to go slow and steady, man. That's how you do it in this hobby. You got to go slow. You cannot go too quickly, because that's where a mistake happens. Everything in here has been quarantined. Every single fish has been quarantined. It's come from our shop, Tanknicians. Every single coral has been quarantined. It's come from our shop, Tanknicians. And that's why this process has taken a little bit extra time, because these fish, each one of them, have been in our quarantine system for upwards of a month and a half to 2 months. We want to make sure we get no fish disease in this aquarium. We want to make sure that we get no parasites, aptasia, or anything like that in this tank, because it would be an absolute nightmare to deal with. And that's the whole reason why we opened up a quarantine shop, so we can avoid those disasters. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. So when a tank has low nitrates and low phosphates and it's kind of just being established, I do like to, especially when you have coral and stuff like that, I do like to feed a little bit of an amino acid to the aquarium. Now, I noticed a difference personally, and I think, you know, just visually looking at the corals, they seem to like it. Especially, I just mainly do it when the tank is low on nitrate and phosphate. Now, at the same time, I try not to overdo it either, just because it is a new tank. So if you overdo the amino acids, this stuff is pretty potent. If you overdo it, then, you know, you're going to end up dealing with things like, you know, algae blooms and things like that, green hair algae and stuff. So you got to be very careful when you do it. Maybe half what the recommended dosage is, because there's really not that many coral in the tank to justify a full dose of this stuff. But I want to put enough nutrients in the water that these corals have it available. Now, there is food left over from all the fish waste and stuff like that, but I don't know. I definitely notice a difference when you dose the amino acids with a tank that isn't yet established. Do you guys notice a difference at all do you guys use amino acids? Do you notice a difference at all? Like, I'd love to hear what you guys' thoughts are on that. Everything in this tank from beginning to end will be nothing but tanknicians, the fish, the coral, everything will be us. So I want to make this tank look bomb. I want it to look amazing. I want it to be a representation of what we stand for as a company. So let's make this thing look really, really cool. Let me know what you guys think, what we should put in this tank, because this is going to represent our company, and I want it to be like one of those like FU tanks, you know, to everybody who says quarantine isn't the way to do it. I want to prove that it's possible.